Hey, what's up, everybody? So, today we're going to talk about what we always talk about, which is the XRP price, and we're going to look at the other cryptos as well. We're going to figure out what the heck is it doing. Today is Sunday. We have the weekly close. And Blockchain Backer, he put out a video today talking about his thoughts. I'm going to respond to what I think in regards to what he thinks. So, stick around for that. But essentially, I'm agreeing with what he's saying, and to some aspects. But for example, if you look at the chart here on the smaller time frames, he said basically people are taking these fractals and they're trying to overlay them, right? And I've seen that too. And you don't really want to do that, right? You get it once, you get it twice, you get it three times, maybe you get it another time, but the more you do this type of structure, which is a running flat, by the way, you have A, B, C, it's a running flat, A, B, C, running flat. This could also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we have an A, B, C running flat, right? So his thoughts are that we're probably going to come back down to the lows and take off. And if we break the lows, we're probably going to go down to $1.50. And I agree with that to some extent. Now, there is a fractal that he hasn't looked at. And I don't know why he hasn't looked at it, but I'm going to show you the fractal. Maybe he just hasn't seen it yet. Here, I'm going to show you exactly where it's at. And I only say that because he's the fractal king. I mean, he is really, really good when it comes to fractals. But this is the fractal that I'm going to share. And this is at basically the peak of the bull market back in 2018, 2017, right? Now, I'm not saying this is the peak and we're done, but look at the wave structure here. So here it is right here. And you can see this is a pretty beautiful fractal. I mean, it's not perfect, but my goodness, it is pretty, spot on here. And I'm not even on the right time frame. I can go to the 4-hour chart. It's going to be a little bit cleaner, I suspect. So, it's not perfect. The times don't really match up too well, but it is pretty good. It is pretty decent, right? And I like it because of these two waves right here. You got the run up, you got the flag, and you got this run up. I mean, all of these run ups and these two corrections are playing out nicely. This one's getting a little bit extended, but we'll try to make some sense of it. All right, so if we look closely here at this fractal, right? And I'd really love to know what Blockchain Backer thinks of the fractal. So you got a three-wave move down, you got a three-wave move down, and then you got a pump, you got a pullback, and then you just trail on up. So same thing here. You got a pump, you got a pullback, and now it seems as though we're trailing to the upside. So that would be the idea, right? That would be the idea. Now, if the fractal's not going to play out, then obviously it's not going to play out, right? So let's take a look at what are the possibilities if this fractal doesn't play out. And you can already see it's kind of breaking away from it already. I mean, I can stretch it out a little bit more. Let's see here. There we go. That's about as good as I'm going to get it, I believe. So there you go. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So we'll know by tonight or probably, yeah, tonight or even tomorrow morning if this thing has broken away or not. So it's not like we have to know right away. You got the 60 minutes interview coming up. A lot of times people say, oh, that's a good thing because you're going to get, people seeing it for the first time. But then you're also got the other side of it. Well, like, for example, when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live, it was a sell the news event. right? You buy the rumor, you sell the news. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen this time, but you just really don't know. So you got to forget all the noise and just focus on the wave structure, focus on the chart. So, um, when obviously Brad Garlinghouse is going to be on 60 Minutes, I'll be very curious to see the entire interview. But most of the people who are watching it probably already know about it. You know what I mean? And then you're going to have a lot of people who don't know about it. But 60 Minutes interview is not good for today or tomorrow. The 60 Minutes interview is good for the longevity of XRP. So you could have, for example, now let me get rid of the fractal because we don't need it anymore. So let me get rid of that. So for example, if we first of all, we're getting the weekly close, right when 60 Minutes is going to be airing. So a little bit different time, but around the same time. So let's say you get a dump. Well, who cares? It's not because of the interview. It's not because it could be, but most of the time it's just a technical reason. And a lot of times they attach a narrative to that specific reason as to why the price pumped or dumped, when in reality it was just technical. So if we do get a dump, it doesn't matter, right? Because the long-term trend is going higher. If you look at the 2-month chart on the market cap of XRP, we have a new all-time high close on the monthly and the 2-month. So that is very important. The XRP USD price chart, we haven't done it yet. So we are technically, very close to price discovery. So what I'm saying is that when the 60-minute interview is finished, it could be good for it, um, right away. Or my thinking is it's going to be good for it, good for the price over the long term, right? So as people, because think about who watches 60 Minutes. A lot of them are grandpa and grandma, right? I mean, you know what I mean? A lot of them are old people. They're not going to just like stop what they're doing and go to Coinbase and buy it like right away. I mean, maybe some people will, but I just don't see it. I mean, you got $100+ billion market cap. It takes a lot of money to move the price. So a lot of the traders are going to be the ones moving the price more than somebody at home watching 60 Minutes. So just so you understand. Okay, so we got all that out of the way. Now, what if the fractal doesn't play out? Well, we have a couple ideas here. And the first idea, obviously, would be something like this, where you have an A, B, C are running flat. So you get an A, B, you come down for C, you go sideways, and you get a running flat. Also known as rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, breakout, right? So at the end of the day, we are right in the middle of the retracement level. So you have point A, you have point B, and then you have point C. So this area is always the most challenging. So that's why you have to look at the smaller time frames to kind of get an idea of what it's doing. So if we look at the 30-minute chart, you can see we are moving up correctively, right? We're moving up correctively. So what does that mean? Well, that significantly increases the probability that it's going to be a B wave. For example, we have this really weird wave here, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that would be an A. And then you have 3 up, you have 3 down, and then it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So right here you have an A, you have a B, and then you have a C here. This is a 3-way move, right? So you get 5 down, you get 3 up. So what comes next, right? Typically what comes next is you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back down. Now, it could break the low. Now, disagree with blockchain backer. I mean, it could be right, it could be wrong, and it's not financial advice. But if we do break that low, it doesn't mean necessarily we have to go back down to $1.50, which is way down here. Now, it's very possible we can, because that's where really the support is, right around $1.50, $1.60. I mean, that's where the support is, right? However, and then also there is confluence with that. You know what I mean? So if we look at the fib levels, the 618 actually comes in at $1.75. The 702 comes in at $1.63. So we really need to stay above $1.63. We don't want to break below that 702. You know what I mean? So I'm more in the camp of $1.75 to $2. So another way we can figure out where the C wave is going to go, if it is a C wave, right? There's other options. For example, obviously you have an A, B, C, right? You could also have a complex B, which means you have A, and then this comes down like this, and then you come up for a B, A, B, C, right? And then you come back down, and then you go. So it could be a much bigger correction. And a bigger correction would make sense. And you say, well, why would it be bigger if, these are the same size as these corrections? Because we're starting the fourth wave, right? If you look at the daily chart, we should be getting into that fourth wave soon, right? Because we have 1, 2, right? All of this is 3. Potentially, we might not be done yet. We could pop the high again, right? And then be finished with 3. But ultimately, we should get something not that big, but something close to it, right? Which would take quite a bit of time. I mean, this thing took, let's see, this thing took about 3 months to correct, right? So I don't think it's going to be that long, but, it is what it is. So if you look here, if you look at the third, we have 1, 2, right? All of that's 3, 4, and then 5. Now, obviously, that's one way to count it. You could also say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an extended fifth. And there's other ways to count it as well. So we have to be watching really this low here to see if it's going to be a bigger correction. So let me go back to the smaller time frames. And if we look closely here, again, that other complex B, right? It would be a bigger correction, something like that. The other idea is, we have an ABC. We built some accumulation, and now we're trailing up, right? We're taking our time. We're creeping up, and then boom, you break out, right? Something like that, where it kind of just makes you second guess the price. So, and then you have obviously the rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. So those are kind of the ideas I'm looking at. Now, the other idea is if we just get a standard ABC, A, B, C, in which case, where would the C wave go? It would probably go back down to about $2, $1.90. So what we can do, if we break this low, right, what we could do is we can measure that. So I'm going to take a trend-based fib extension. I'm going to go to the top, not to this top, because that was a corrective wave. I'm going to go from this top here all the way back down to the bottom, and then I'm going to drag it all the way up. Okay? So if it's an ABC correction, we should see a 1-to-1 correction somewhere around there, which comes in at exactly $1.94, which coincidentally, right, and with charts, there are no coincidences, you are backtesting this little area here. It's not a lot of support, but actually it kind of is, because when you go back in time, when you look left, right, let's jack this thing up to the weekly here. And if you take Okay, so $1.94, and we drag that along here. That's actually the top of this wave over here, right? So if XRP is super bullish, we don't need to come down and test these closes down here. A wick would be sufficient enough, right? And then if you look over here, you're going to have to look at the smaller time frames. For example, we go to the 12-hour chart, and you can see there's support there, right? And then we keep going here, and you can see a little bit of support over here as well. That would be at 205. That would be one. And then you have another one here at about $1.95, which would be the top of this close and the bottom of these here. So there is some confluence there. And then you also have a little bit here at $1.92, $1.98, and $1.88. So, going back down to $1.50, yes, it's totally possible, but I'm not really, look, I need to see evidence of that first, right? So let me get rid of these lines here. All right, so here's $1.94. So that's the one-to-one extension, right? So here's where it gets interesting. We can hit the 1618, which actually brings us right down to $1.51. So when I say I disagree, I don't disagree per se. I'm just saying I don't see that at the moment. I want to see evidence of that. And the first thing would be, and obviously he does too, right? I mean, nobody knows for sure. But I want to see this low get taken, number one. And then we get A, B, and then we come down for C. And then if we lose this area, then I would be saying, okay, yeah, we're most likely going to 150 to 175, somewhere in there. The 1.414 comes in at 166. So there you go. That's the XRP analysis. We'll see how that plays out. But my thinking here is, when is that fourth wave going to come, right? So for example, let's say, here's another thing, and this is thinking ahead, and it's speculative, but here we go. So we have, let me actually zoom out so we can see it a little better here. And then let me take this right here. So we have an A, this is a B, and let's say we come down for a C, right around $1.90 or so. Okay, fair enough. But that's still smaller than this, right? And I don't think it's going to be even near that big if we get that fourth wave. I mean, it's really hard to know. But let's say we get the three waves. We could get three down, right? And then we can come back up 1, 2, 3, right? And then we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then get back down to $1.50. You see that? Now that is an ABC. It's a more complex ABC. So instead of this being ABC, it's only a part of an A wave, right? A, and then we come up in 3, that's a B, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and C, and then it's more complex, and it's a bigger wave. It's a bigger three-wave pullback, which is actually even more bullish. The bigger the pullback, the longer it takes, right? The more of a slingshot reaction you get. I mean, that's why XRP is my biggest holding, simply because of how long this thing's been correcting. If you look at the XRP price chart, most people gave up. Why? Because it's sideways, 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 sideways. It's torture, it's torture, it's torture. But I've been doing this for over a year on my channel, and I've been explaining that is good. That's what we want, right? If you look at this is sideways. And sideways equals accumulation. It could also equal distribution as well. But in this case, we're doing it from an uptrend, right? And it's also a carbon copy of this move right here, right? You can see it clearly, right? Obviously, you have a run up, a bear market, a retrace, revisit the low, sideways accumulation, blast off, run up, bear market, retrace, revisit the low, sideways accumulation. You even have the liquidity grab right there. You have box one, box two, and then you have blast off. That's what we're getting. I mean, it's so clear as day. And when I see people in this area, especially this area, just leaving XRP, I just don't really understand. But I get it. People want instant reactions. But Amazon, right? Brad Garlinghouse compared XRP to Amazon, saying Amazon is to books as Ripple is to payments. Amazon started off doing books, but then they started doing other things. Ripple is not an ordinary company. They want to put a dent in the universe. Well, if we look at the first bull run of Amazon, just like the first bull run of XRP, guess how long Amazon took to finally break above its all-time high? It took 10 years to break above its first all-time high. So I had the dot-com bubble, just like the 2017, 2018 crypto bubble, right? And then the price collapsed, and then Amazon retraced, and then it went into reaccumulation, and then after this, 10 years later, it broke out. So XRP is only 7 years, and people are complaining. But you know what? It is what it is. We also had to deal with the lawsuit and all that other junk, which actually was a blessing in disguise because it allowed people to accumulate more than they ever thought they could, right? So what I'm saying here is XRP has the biggest base in crypto history that's in the top 10, top 20, right? I believe so. And you also have the longest downward resistance line, this trend line here, right? So if we take everything off the screen, right, and we look at this from a triangle, A, B, C, D, E, go, right? This downward resistance line is one of the biggest in crypto history, right? So we don't know what the effects are going to be from a platform that's this big. You go to New York City and you build a platform, you have to have a strong foundation. This is the strongest foundation I've ever seen in crypto, right? By the way, fun fact, Monero has the same price structure. Now, I'm not saying Monero is going to do anything like XRP, but I'm just saying it has the same price structure and it's barely breaking out. So maybe go check it out. Also, Litecoin has the same structure. I'm not saying Litecoin is either, but I believe Litecoin will do well because it has the same structure, has that reaccumulation structure, same as Monero, right? Rising tide raises all ships. Monero, Litecoin, right? They're OGs, so I don't think they're going anywhere. They stood the test of time, and they're on a lot of exchanges. So, they are a little bit of a dinosaur, but they take a little while. But I think, I think where they are is low risk compared to some of these coins that are too overvalued. So, anyways, that's XRP. We have 1, 2, 3. Question is, when are we going to get 4? And once we get 4, we can measure the bottom of 3 to the top of 3 to the bottom of 4, and then we can get wave 5. And then that wave 5 price target will most likely be the top of the bull run. So, we're close. Literally, if this thing goes to $10, guys, it's not that much. We're only talking, if we go to $10, that's only 300%. It's not that much. So for me, it's all about the art of rotations. I will probably be rotating most of my XRP by the time we hit $5. Not because I don't think it's going to go higher, but if we hit $5 and we go to $10, that's only a 2x, right? So one of the coins I've been talking about is some of the meme coins like Dog, right? And you go, what the hell's Dog? Well, Dog is actually a special meme coin on the Bitcoin network. And I think it's going to do very well. The reason why is because it has the same type of setup as SHIB and Dogecoin back in the day. Now, this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. But what I like about it is it's only a wave 1 and a wave 2. We haven't begun wave 3. Like if you look at Dogecoin, it's already in its wave 5 of the larger cycle, right? SHIB hasn't, SHIB is still early, but Doge, and Pepe already have gone up so much, right? Now, I like also BOME. The reason I like these is because you get, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is a nest of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2s. That's the most bullish Elliott wave setup you can get, right? So we're right here at the all-time high. I think this thing can go pretty high. So if we look at 300%, right, that gets us to about 3 cents. Now, for a wave 3, you really want to look at the log scale targets as opposed to the linear targets. But if we just go to a 4.236, right, I mean, you're looking at, 25,000%. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go that high. Dogecoin, on its third wave went about the 2.272 on log scale. But since it was such a shallow retracement, it's going to be kind of hard to gauge. It's going to be all about momentum, and it's going to be about the small time frames and measuring the wave structure as we move up. But this thing can do, in my opinion, pretty good. Now, not just dog, but you look at other things like Theta, right? Now, if you look at Theta, just to get back to the all-time high, let me put on the other Theta chart if I can find it real quick, right there. So if we look at Theta, right, just to get back to the all-time high is much more than 300%. You're looking at almost 450%. All right. So what's more likely, XRP hitting $10 or Theta getting back to the all-time high? Well, I think they're both likely. I think they're both very likely, right? So we just have to see. Now, Theta is a smaller market cap. I really like it because it's got the same type of setup that Ethereum did in its bull cycle back in the day. So if we look at Ethereum, or let's see, I don't think Ethereum collapsed, or even Total 2. Like if you look at Total 2, for example, right, and you look at this shape, and then you look at this shape, I gotta zoom out because it's bigger, right? It's a little bit different, but it's really the same. So what you have is a beautiful W pattern, right? You have a bottom, double bottom, that's a W pattern. Same kind of thing here, right? You got that W pattern shaping up, right? So it could be pretty big. Now, if you look at the Fibonacci level here, and you come down, this hit approximately the 1.47, right? By the way, hitting the 1.47 on XRP on the market cap is $589 billion. That's where I think 589 is coming from. It's going to be $589 billion market cap. It's not the price, it's the market cap. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just find that interesting. The 1.47 gives you a $589 billion market cap. So if we take that same fib level, right, and we go to the 1.47, you're looking at almost $76 for Theta. So that's pretty big, right? So from where we are now up to the 1.47, that's about almost a 25x. Whereas XRP, you're looking more like a 4x, maybe a 5x. Now, I think it could go way higher than $10 XRP. XRP can go all the way to $26 on the log scale 1.618 extension. But anything after that, I mean, you're just pushing it. Right now, some people think $50, $100, $1,000, $10,000. The only way XRP can get beyond, those insane numbers is to have some special deal, like maybe they partner with the Federal Reserve, maybe they partner with some massive bank, maybe, who knows what it is. Maybe the government has a sort of something they do on the XRP ledger, right? Maybe you know what I mean? Maybe it's the derivatives. Maybe it's the bond market. Maybe it's the tokenization of all these derivatives. I mean, or who knows what it could be, but we could see those insanity numbers. So that's why I'm not selling. My hodl position is different than my trading position. My trading position, that's what I'm talking about. I trade for a living. If I don't trade, I don't eat, right? I have to trade. So I have to take profit. I can't, but my investments, now those I'm willing to hold. I would love to see XRP at $100, $500, $1,000 one day. Now it's going to take a lot of work, and I don't think it deserves it quite yet, but I think everything's getting in line, and I think things could happen faster than we anticipate, because it's like the snowball effect. When you get that snowball, it starts small, and then as it rolls, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And with Trump in the White House coming up soon, and with a new SEC, I mean, we're going to get the ball rolling much, much faster. Especially Trump's going to be favoriting the American fintech companies, and the number one American fintech company in the world, I believe, is Ripple, right? And they met this summer. So what do you think? What do you think's going to happen, right? I don't know. Maybe they got some kind of deal going on. I mean, but that's the speculation, though. That's not something factual that I can see on a chart. So from a trading perspective, I hold something to it because I believe there's no other coin on planet Earth that is in a position like XRP that could do the things that are needed to do involving the financial system, right? But then my other thing is mostly percentages, right? I don't really care about what it is. Like dog is a meme coin. Who cares? It's a freaking meme coin. I don't care. I look at the percentages. I thought Dogecoin was a joke in 2021 until it blasted off and went to the 1.272, which is the equivalent of XRP hitting almost $150. So Dogecoin was laughing at my face. I was laughing at Dogecoin in 2020. And then once it melted up, it was laughing at me. And I had my tail between my legs thinking, oh my God, how stupid was I, right? I laughed at it. And that's what you get, right? And people can make fun of meme coins. I used to make fun of meme coins, and I still think they're a joke. That's not the point. A meme coin is a Pokemon card. Think about how popular Pokemon is. Things like that, right? That's what meme coins are. Meme coins is culture. It's kind of like trading cards. It's a different layer of crypto, right? It's in the fun category. It's in the social media category. Where XRP is in a total different category. It's utility. So when I hear people say, oh, I'm a utility maxi, get over yourself. I'm a money maxi. I don't care about anything, regarding what it is. I care about how rich it can make me. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing on the planet is what? Time. And the only way to achieve time freedom is what? Wealth. And the only way to achieve wealth is what? Crypto. There's nothing on the planet that can make you wealthy other than crypto. Unless you're a famous celebrity, a rap star, a rock star, a movie star, a famous surgeon, maybe you own a Fortune 500 company. But that's going to be so much work. Imagine creating a company like Walmart. You're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Some of these guys on Shark Tank, they make a lot of money, but it's a lot of work. It's so much work to be an entrepreneur, to start your own business. I mean, you have to work, and that takes away time from my family. Why would I work when I can have my money work for me? Why work for money when your money can work for you? They don't teach you that in school. You got to learn that on your own. So I don't care, and I love digital asset investor and digital perspectives, right? They're utility maxis. I get it. I understand, and I'm not faulting them, and I am in a sense, but you have to understand, utility isn't here yet. Utility comes when when we have regulation. We don't even have regulations. So how can you have utility if you don't have regulations? We're not there yet. You have to trade and invest according to the time that we're in. But also, more so than that, the future. You have to invest in the future. And the future is utility. So they are spot on with that. But when you look at the previous bull runs, what did the best? Meme coins. Right? I don't care about meme coins, but they make a lot of money. Okay? And that's why we're here. We're not here because we're going to use, a crypto at Walmart or Amazon. We're here because we are assuming that crypto is going to make us money. That's what it's about. It's about money. So, some people say it's about utility. I say, yeah, it's true, but it's mostly about money. And meme coins have meme momentum. That's what it's about. Momentum. So, percentages are everything. So, anyways, once XRP gets to the all-time, just like Theta, if Theta gets to the all-time high, right? Let's say, because let's say here's your line right here, your breakout line with $1.25. We go all the way up to the all-time high. That's 1,200%. Okay, so then that's pretty good, right? So then what you do is you go from here all the way up to, let's say we hit $50. Well, that's only 225%. Let's say we hit $100. That's about 500%. You know what I mean? So, but if you do it all together, right, from bottom up to the, let's say $50 will be right around there. That's about 4,000%. So, what is that? 40x. So, anyways, that's just my understanding and my theory on this and how I'm playing this. So, and it's not just meme coins. You got AI, right? You got DeFi. I mean, that's going to do well. I'm just, referencing meme coins right now. But so let's take a look at BOME, for example. Now, this is the whole chart of BOME. The reason I like it is just look at it. It's a baby, and most people look at it and they go, oh, just whatever. But what I see is I see an impulse. I see a bull flag. I see it flagging out, and now I see it breaking out. And then more than that, when you look more closely, you can see the structure in the wave. And look at this. Look where we are. Look at that right there. We're cupping into the resistance, cupping into the resistance, cupping into the resistance, cupping into the resistance, cupping into the... This is an inverse head and shoulders with two shoulders. All right, it's knocking on the door. This line will most likely be broken. Every time we hit it, we hit it, we hit it, we hit it, we hit it. We're weakening that line, okay? So when you look at this, and if we assume that we're going to break this, right? Maybe we don't break it yet. Maybe it's an A, B, C, and we have to come all the way down here and then break it. Whatever. The point is, if we do break it, what is the structure? It's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So once we finish this 2 and we break out, it's most likely going to be the third wave, and we're going to accelerate really fast. XRP is already at the end of its third wave. This hasn't even begun its third wave. That is called rotations, the art of rotation, right? So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We got to have rotations. So no matter how much we love when you hold XRP for years and years and years, it's really hard to sell it. But you can't be married to it. You can't be, you got to take a chance and get rid of it and go and trade. Now, I'm not talking about my investment. My investment, I'm not selling. I'm holding, right? I don't care if I have to hold for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. This is old Brandon, right? So, trading is today's money. Investing is tomorrow's money, right? So, I don't mind holding for 3 or 4 cycles. Whatever it takes to be as highly appreciative in value as possible, right? And that's where utility kicks in. You know what I mean? So, as an investor, I'm a utility maxi. As a trader, I'm a money maxi. So that's the difference, right? So anyway, that's BOME. I put a video out dedicated to BOME. I think it was just yesterday or the day before. BOME, and I deep dive into this chart, right? So BOME and DOG are my 2 meme coin choices. I could be totally wrong. DOG can go to 0. BOME can go to 0. I can lose all my money that I invested in a blink of an eye. Look what happened to Luna. So you just don't know. I'm basing it off the chart. I'm basing it off the tokenomics too, because there is no inflation with BOME. You have inflation with XRP, you have inflation with Bitcoin. There's no inflation with BOME. Because the total supply is the circulating supply, which is what I like to see, especially when you just have a wave 1 and wave 2, right? DOG, I can't remember which one it was. I like DOG also because it's a Bitcoin meme coin, so it gives it a little bit of a boost. And I like BOME because it's basically a library for meme coins, meme culture, right? So anyways, let's go back to Theta. And let's take a look at the structure here. Now, if we look at the daily chart, it is doing exactly what we thought it was going to do, which is what? A flat, right? We have an A, B, and it's coming down for a C. This also could be what XRP is doing, right? XRP, real quick, let me just show you one more idea with XRP. If I can find it really fast. Where are you at? Okay, it's right there. So one more idea with XRP. Look at this. And by the way, the daily chart looks really good. So we could be breaking out just looking at the daily. And by the way, we didn't even look at the weekly. The weekly looks good too. So, by the way, where's the weekly chart going to close? We have to put our line here. So I need a horizontal line, and I'm going to put it right where it's at currently. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. So what we need to do is we need to close above $2, above $2.75. So that's where we need to close. Now, if we zoom in to the 1 hour, here's the question. Can we close above this line right here in 1, 2, 3 hours? I think it's 3 hours. It'll be kind of tough because it is a little bit correcty, but we'll see. If we do close above that line, it'll be the highest weekly close in XRP history. Very important. So here's the other idea. This thing comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, right? We have an A, B, We break out. Everybody goes, oh, we're going to the moon. And then all of a sudden, bam, we come right back down. And then we go sideways and then we break out. That will be a running flat. That's exactly what theta is doing right now. ABC, running flat. Very common. So that would be the other idea, right? So anyways, you have ABC, you have ABC, you have ABC, right? Or you have just go, right? Or it could be ABC, 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 and then go. You know what I mean? So we just have to wait and see. You say, well, that's real helpful. How does that help me? Well, again, as the price matures, you're going to rule out things that it's not, right? So we have to track it. We have to track the wave. And that's how you're going to know. So, all right, go back to theta. So we could see something like this. Look what theta did, right? So XRP is kind of like right here. So imagine it goes up, 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 and then it comes back down. This looks like a running flat. Now, it might not be finished. And it doesn't look finished. It actually looks bearish. Theta looks bearish right now. Very bearish. Why? Because you can see, I think this is going to go down, guys. The reason why is because you can see we're right here trending, we're right on the thread. We got a shoulder, we have a head, we have a shoulder, right? So this is probably going to break down, and it's probably going to revisit the lows, which probably means XRP will as well at some point. Let's turn on this right here, and let's put this about, I'm going to do it from that wick there, and let's see where we go here. So that's going to bring us all the way down to about 272 if that head and shoulders pattern plays out, right? So we really don't want to break that low. Now we do have another low here which could save us, right? So essentially, this needs to finish. Boom, boom, boom. And it'll still be a running flat. But we don't really want to break that low, because then it'll be an expanded flat, and then it'll take much longer. So just be cautious, you know what I mean? So let's take a look at some other charts and see if we can see anything else popping on the screen here. Again, dog, just broke out, right? We talked about it. A, B, C, breakout. If I go to the 20-minute chart, it's hard to say exactly where this thing's going, but from what I can see, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3, maybe we get 4 and then 5. All right, let's look at Filecoin. So Filecoin looks a little better, but actually, it's kind of the same, because as compared to Theta, look, I don't like when you bottleneck in a C wave. I like C waves that are aggressive, because when you bottleneck, you got 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then you're just gonna, oftentimes you do that, right? So we don't really want that. So on the face of it, to me, it looks like an ABC, right? You got an A, B, C. So we could come down a little bit more, but ultimately we want to continue higher, obviously. So you could even argue that it's some type of descending triangle. You know what I mean? So crypto needs to get its butt working this week. This week, crypto needs to wake up. Now, a lot of times, December's can kind of be a hit and a miss, but typically, when you're in that bull cycle, January oftentimes is one of the better months. So it's going to be about Ethereum also breaking out. So same thing with ICP. You can kind of see A, B, C working here. Question is it going to be a little bit worse? AVAX. That's a tough one. Kind of looks like A and then B, and then maybe you get C and then go. ICP. I think I just did that. Injective, I mean. Not really helpful. Just gonna have to zoom out here. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of just trailing up here. So until we break this or until we break that, not much to say. We got a 1, we got a 2, and then we're like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this looks pretty good, actually. It looks like it could have a big moment soon. Question is, do we have to come back down and revisit this trend line first, which ain't too far away? Litecoin. Litecoin is the right coin, says nobody. Yeah, I see a flat. A, B, and C. So I want to see it build a base, and I want to see it continue. Pretty simple. Jupiter. Jupiter also it also has the same exact look as BOME and Dog. Same thing. You got the wave 1, you got the bull flag, you got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? You're cupping in, so it looks good. Question is, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, C? Is this a diag with a flat for a wave 2? So 1 and then 2, and then we kick butt and go. I'm still waiting for a liquidation to occur in this bull cycle, which we haven't had. Dogecoin ain't really helpful. It's kind of flagging out a little bit. We're just going to have to monitor it. Pepe is breaking out. Pepe's doing pretty good lately. It's up 6% today. So it's got some momentum. So we have to take. So when you look at Dog and you look at BOME and you look at Jupiter, you have a wave 1 and then you flag out. BOME, Dog, and Jupiter is like right in here. So I'm waiting for this, Flow. I mean, it's a pretty, we went up pretty high, man. I mean, we have a base, we shot straight up, and look at this, we have a big pullback. We could get a big pullback back down here. Wouldn't surprise me at all. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna have to wait for a little bit of confirmation here to see exactly how she plays out. You got 3 down. It looks like 1, 2, and then we're gonna get 3 up, and then we'll see if we get 3 back down and then continue. We're still working these corrections in here. This one, you're kind of building a range, which is good. So I'd like to see, it looks kind of maybe like a Wyckoff range. Boom, boom, boom. Play around and then shoot up. V-chain looks kind of like a triangle. A, B, C, D, E. Maybe we go. Just gonna have to keep an eye. I'm just kind of looking at some charts, trying to kind of see, what's what. You got kind of a descending triangle here for dot. Again, we're in these corrective patterns. We need to wait for a signal for a break. Ethereum kind of looks a little bit, a little bit overheated. may need to pull back a little bit more. This one's been ripping pretty good, QNT. Not really helpful. Render, not too helpful. Matic, same kind of thing. You got a little bit of a descending triangle there. Just, you know, this is all small time frame stuff. The point is, when you zoom out, you know, we should be heading much higher over time. CRV shot straight up. Ave looks interesting because it's got such a big accumulation structure. Now it's kind of curling up here. Yeah, so you're getting right in these retracement levels. So there's going to be a battle. There's a battle going on. But once we get through here, then we're into price discovery. Then it starts to go much, much faster. The part that takes the longest is getting through the retracement levels. Solana, I wouldn't own it. I wouldn't touch it. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 waves. Why would I want it? It could go way, way, way higher, but who cares? I mean, it's not, percentage-wise, it's not going to do it for me. Sui, you know, I would rather own Sui than Solana, even though Sui looks a little bit more extended. It's still kind of early for it, so you just have to see. All right, let's go to Bitcoin now. We got all that out of the way. So last but not least, Bitcoin. So it's really going to come down to Bitcoin, right? What is Bitcoin going to do? Well, what we have here is 3 down, and then we have 3 up, and then it looks like we have 5 down. A, B, C. It could be finished, right? That's an A, B, C. That's a flat. And this is a wave 1, and now we're flagging out for a wave 2, and then we're going to go. So that's idea number 1. Idea number 2 is that we have 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then we have 1, 2, 3 waves down. Something like this, something kind of funky like that, where we come back and we revisit the lows, and then we go up. So that's basically it. Those are the 2 ideas. And then if we break this low, then we'll reevaluate and try to, you know, figure out what it is. But it kind of looks like a little bit of a broadening wedge here. So we could come down. I think we could play around here in a little bit, you know. So as long as we're going sideways, you know, I'm cool with that. Tia. Same thing with Tia, you know. It either this is 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. There's your 3-wave move. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're flagging out for a 1 and a 2. And then we're going to break. Or we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and then we're going to get 3 more down and then go. How do you know which one's it going to be? You got to track the wave. That's what being a trader is about. You got to actually go to work. And you got to sit there and watch it. And track where it's going, and then rule out what it's not doing. So anyways, that'll do it for today's video. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, not financial advice. And if you can, hit that like, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.